Hello everyone, welcome back to Journey to Wisdom and Wealth. My name is Tara. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. You know you're already part of the what? Grateful gang, 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 grateful gang, 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 grateful gang, 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 grateful gang, 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 gang. And if you're not a part of Grateful Gang, we'd love to have you over here. It's free 99. It costs you nothing. It's free 99, y'all. Okay? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends, families, enemies, anybody that needs to know about it, okay? And don't forget to talk to me down in the comments. So today we're going to go back into our Goodnotes series, and I was trying not to bombard you guys, so maybe I'll drop one once or twice during Vlogmas a week. But today I'm going to talk to you about the text box tool, because for me, when we arranged the last time we were here, we went over all the tools very simply, very quickly. And then I showed you how to move your tools into a different direction, right? Let's go where we left off, okay? We're over here in our testing folder. We made ourselves a journal. We went over all the things. So this is going to be learning our texting tool. I don't think that's the page I want to do. So here is learning our texting tool. These are some of the things, and you can see it's a lot. There's some of the things that I want to go over with you, and I don't want to forget anything, so I made myself a little listing. So this is our texting tool right here. And it is a big T. And if you double click it, it just says text silent, and you're allowed to save the font that you have as a default. Some people, when they come in here to text, they will press the big the big keyboard right there, which is fine, but that makes for an overall kind of writing. If you see this big box right here, you can write in it like, hello, my name. I don't know why that's always my go-to is Tara. I love to be here. Okay, that doesn't say what I just said, but as you can see, you don't have as many options. It's going to write in whatever font is already on the computer. It's not going to write in a font that you chose, but that's not what we're talking about. I mean, that does have its own things where it has bold and heading and all that, and you can choose other things, captions, paragraph, bullets. You could do that, but I feel like this is more for journaling in here. What we're going to talk about today is under the editing tool, and it's the text tool. So when you click your text tool and you click anywhere on the page, you're going to get a little text box, which is normal, and your keyboard will normally come up and you can write. So this is all about the text tool, right? We're just going to write that. This is all about you. And if I click back that same box and click in it to get my little cursor, then I can keep writing in that same box. As you can see, it will cut you off at a certain point if that's where your box stops. If you want to make your box bigger, you're going to go ahead and you're going to press this little blue button. I suggest to press it with your finger, okay? Because if you try to press it with your pencil, it'll sometimes keep typing. And so if you move it with your finger, then it'll extend the sentence. So if you kept going across the page and you kept writing, it'll be fine. If you push it back, it'll just keep moving your words. Sometimes you want it like that and sometimes you don't. Okay, so that is one way to write in a text box, by clicking on it and just typing all your words in. Another way to write in your text box feature is to click on the text box and you can just start writing. So, hi there. Now, that is something called scribble. You see, I just wrote with my pencil and then it made it into the font that is selected. So let me show you how to make sure your scribble is on and fun things that come along with scribble. So to go to scribble, you just go to settings. And when you go to settings, you're going to go down to your Apple Pencil. And when you go to your Apple Pencil, you're going to see scribble. As you can see, mine is on in green here. So that is what you want. If you turn it off, then it'll just be off. So now that you know how to turn your scribble on, if you want it on, then we'll go back to our document that we were working on and work with our font here. So hi there. Here are a few things you can do with scribble. Already, you know, you can write, but if you didn't want the word there, you could just literally scribble and it will delete the word. And if you put your cursor back in, I could do a space and then we're going to do there. I hope I didn't make that 2 words. So this is all wrong. So if I didn't want this, I would just scribble that out. And also another thing you can do is you can select. I would like it to say there actually. If you tap the word like I just did, it'll select the whole word, or you can draw a line through both words or just one word and it'll select all the words, and then you'll get this other different options for cutting, copy, paste, paste and match style, ask Goodnotes, and there are more: format, link, lookup, translate, web search, and share. So if you wanted to change this, you'd make sure you're in here, and then you're going to make sure you're somewhere on, you see your cursor, and you're going to, like, if you wanted a space between HE and RE, you would draw a line and it would create a space. If you no longer wanted the space, you would draw a line and it would close the space. It only opens and closes the space one time. Also, if you wanted to insert a word, you would put your cursor where you want the word and you'd hold down. And you see how it created space? I could type in this word. Hi there, here is what it says now. It makes no sense. It doesn't have to make sense. And we're just going to make the line. I'm just doing this for examples, okay? And that's pretty much some of the coolest scribble tools that I have figured out how to use so far. I'm sure there are more things you can do, but those are the ones that I tend to use often. So let's move on from scribble. So now let's work with this text. It doesn't matter which one. And we're going to choose all the different text box options. So this is your text box, and here are all your options over here. You got your font style, you got your font size, you've got your alignment, you've got the color, and then you also have something else cool, which is like creating a text box, and then you have, if you love it, you create a default. So let's go through all of those tools here. Let's move this over. And if you want to work with something, like I said, you're going to click the box you're in. You got to make sure your cursor's in there. And we're going to use our little shortcut, and we're just going to make the line through because I want to change all of them in this particular instance. So if I wanted to change the font to something else, these will tell you the most recent ones. Let's say I want to go back to Bradley Hand, which is something I was using. You just click on it and you see that all of the font was changed. We have so many options here, and I have not downloaded a new font, which is something else I want to try. But for now, I'm just using the ones that are in here. So you'll see I use some different ones, and you just choose whatever you want, and it will keep the things that you've used recently up at the top. So just for clarity, I'm just gonna go, let's stay with Futura Medium so you guys can still see it. And then another option is the size of the font, and so you're able to make it bigger, whoa, or make it smaller. And if you get to like a point where you're like, oh, I just want one more, you can use your plus or minus to do that as well. So let's just make this bigger. Again, we can touch the blue circles either direction and make our box wider so we can see everything that we're working with. The next is our alignment. So you can have be left aligned, center aligned, or let me move this down so y'all can see. This could be, it was right aligned, I'm sorry, left aligned initially. Everything was this way. I think this may be easier to see if something's up or down. So if it's left aligned, it looks like that. If it's centered, you'll see everything came to the center. And if it's right aligned, everything came this way. You can move it by points, and you can leave it on automatic for spacing, or you can change your spacing. Now, this is the color of the font. So you could choose to make it any color. So that was green or blue or whatever is there. If the color you want is not there, you can go to create a preset color, which you press the little empty box. We've done this before, you know, we're changing folder colors. But if you're new here, and then you would just either choose a hex code color if you have it, or you can use your dropper and you can choose another color on the screen. So like, let's say we didn't have blue and we wanted to do that, it lets you go around the screen. I wanted black again because that's the only other color I have, but that's if I wanted to turn back black, then that would be one of my new presets. As you see here, you can do custom colors and just go through the whole thing again, and here it will give you what the hex code is. And these are other colors that I've used that may have been removed or deleted. So if you get to your presets and you want to remove something, you can press that little button I just did, that these two here, and you can reset back to the original colors of your inks. You can move your colors around to anywhere you want. So if you are like Roy G. Biv, or you're like, oh, I want all my greens together, I want all my purples together, I want them from lightest to darkest. You can do that too. Okay, I'm just gonna, let's make it purple and move on, right? And then we're gonna close out of that. You can hit done or just hit anywhere on the page. And then what else I want to show you is that you don't have to do the whole entire text. So if you're in your text box and you want you to stand out, like put your text where I'm not on the, am I on the thing? Yeah. Make sure your cursor is there and you're going to select just you, and you could just make you a color. So then this will say it's all about you, and this will be highlighted in a different color, which I also love. Let's say we want this all in purple. So we're just going to make this purple again. And this is what you want. Like every time, pretend this is what you want every single time when you type. You want it to look like this. If you want it to look like this, you're going to go to this box and you're going to save as default. Every time you type in a new box, it's going to say welcome, right? It's now purple, this font, that size. And that's what it's going to be until you change and set a new default. Now, what I want to do is show you how to use a text box. So here's our hello. And here's the text box tool. So first, let's make sure we highlight it. We want to make sure that it actually works on the text we're working with. And on that, right now, if you see the backsplash, that means you have no text box kind of style selected. You can choose a color here. Let's go with red. Just Christmas time, you know. Vlogmas babes. And then you can go back from here and it says a border color. Let's make our border color green. You know, we're still rocking with the Christmas. Now, if you notice, there is no border color here. You say, oh, where's the green? I don't see the green, Tara. Well, that's because they don't have border points is nothing. It's at 0. So if you don't move it up, like now you can see the green. There it is. You can see the green in it. Let me move this over so we can actually see. You can see the border color green now, but I don't really want it that thick, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. And then you'll see that it's rounded here. You could do less of a rounded corner. I hope you can see the rounding changing as I do that. So now it's very square. And if I round my corners, you'll see it's slowly getting rounder. And the same thing with the border. Like I said, you can go higher or lower with your border depending on what you want it to look like. And then padding is like how much space it takes up. So if you make a bigger padding, there'll be more space around the word. If you do a closer padding, it will be closer to the word. All right. And now there are general text box styles. If you weren't in here, let's say you just made a thing and you went. So because we didn't save that as a default, it won't continue doing that. We're still going to get, you're just going to get the black basic that we chose up here. It's just so huge. And that's normal. But if you wanted to keep using these text box styles, you'd also have to choose make as default. But I just wanted to show you the presets. So these are your presets. We were under advanced because I've played with these before. So presets, you'll see this one means no text box. This one is like more of a rounded corner. This one has like a sharp corner and rounded corner. This one has like a shadow. Just go look at them. This is like all square and all these things. So this is how you can start off with just a square without having to change all these things. They've made some for you. And if you don't want that, then you can make your own. If you wanted to keep the one we created, then you would just save as a text box and save as your default and keep using it. The one I think that's necessary or is helpful is like if you're doing something on your everyday calendar or your monthly calendar and you want to put like birthdays in a special color box, or even on your dailies or your weeklies, if you want to put a word in a box, that'd be really cute and cool to do. And that's how you use text boxes. I told you this one has a lot. Please let me know if there's something you're not understanding or you need me to go back over. I'd be glad to take the time to do it again, maybe with you personally or another video if it's unclear to a lot of people. All right, guys, so the last thing I'm going to go over is what I call a line spacing trick. A lot of times when I first started, I would write every single word. Now, let's say I wanted to write electric, like these were my bills, right? So I wrote electric on one line. And then I would write, I do water. Now I wrote the word water here, and let's say I moved it over here onto my listing. Okay, boom. Now, if I want to move these around or fit them on the page, I have to move them one at a time. With this particular list, this is a list of them all in the same text box. If I move this list over here, you'll see they're a little bit off and a little bit wonky. They don't actually go on the line. So this is why I used to just do them single at a time. But I've learned something recently where you can highlight all the things in your box. And then you're going to go to that same line spacing paragraph thing, and you're going to use your points thing to make it bigger or smaller to fit on the line. And then see, like now they basically fit on the line. And you can, you know, definitely just go up or down with whatever you need to do to get it to fit on the line. Maybe you're like, I just need a little bit more, a little bit less, or it's a lot more, a lot less. But you can just finagle with it, and now everything fits on the line, and it's all in one box, and you can move them all at once if you need to without having to have individual text boxes. That is something I've come to really love right now, just so you guys know. So that's like my tip on that. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to talk about what the shortcuts are that come up when you press your box. So when you press your box, like when you're out of your box and then you press on the box of text, you're going to get a shortcut menu. You have cut. You guys kind of know what that happens. Cut, and then you can hold down anywhere on the page and paste it back. And so then the next option is copy, which does the same thing. It'll copy for you, and you can paste what you just typed, not in the box. The hard thing about this tool is you shouldn't be in the box when you're trying to do things, and some things you need to be in the box for. So that is a copy of what I'm doing. And so if I press this again, I'm going to paste. We all know what that does. I can delete it completely, and then I can paste and match style. So it's going to paste just the same way as it was before. At least I believe that's what it does. And then you have duplicate, which I also feel like makes the same exact copy, because sometimes when you copy and paste, it can come over bigger or smaller. I feel like when you duplicate, it does not do that. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this because we have way too many things on here. Back to the menu, we can arrange. So basically what that means is if I had, let's see I had my hello, right? And I wanted to put this on top of here. That would work because I put it on second. So whatever I put on second is going to be on the top. If I put this on and then I move this over it first, it's going to cover it. Rude. It is supposed to cover it because I did this second, it's always going to come to the front. That doesn't always happen, but say I don't want it in the front. This one you use arrange and you hit send to the back. So part of it. Now, if this is not what you wanted, you can click it again and you're going to do arrange and bring to the front. And that way it's in front of whatever you want it to be in front of. That works really well when you're trying to combine stickers with lettering and things like that. And most of them have that same, most of these tools will have the same options. And then there's more. So you can ask Goodnotes a question about it. You can zoom with that same rectangular box that we talked about before and really get close up, or you could close that out. And then the other option is to edit. Now that's the same thing as going in there and making all the changes that you want. So that's just another way to do that. I want to get out of that because we don't want to make any more. And then we want to add, if you want to add a link or add a comment. To add a comment, say you're writing something important and you're like, hey, check this out. Or if you're making study notes and you want to make a specific comment around, what? I don't know. You got to actually hit enter to do the comment. But then you'll get a little box here that lets somebody else know if they're looking that there's a comment there. I don't think I would ever use that, to be honest. But I would hit resolve and it would go away. And someone else can type in on here. Like if you shared your document with someone and they had a question about a comment, then they could write in there and do that. The next thing they have on here, or the last couple things they have, the last thing they have that we haven't talked about is adding a link. So I use this when I'm making sticker books and wanting to link together. You have options to link to a specific document, whereas you can do a website or a document and then it will ask you for your web page and you link to it, and then when you clicked on here, it would bring you there, ask you to open your link. Now, if you're out of editing mode, you can click on it and it'll just go. Because you're in editing mode, it'll give you all these other options. I'm gonna go back to link and talk about all the other options that they have in links. So you can link to a document, you can link to a link, like a document page, and you can link to a page, which is what I've been using because it's easiest for me right now. But when I create my sticker books out, I will also be linking to a document or a website to those specific people's pages. So for example, folder right now, we've got a couple pages of just rando things. So let's say we're on the front page, right? We want to learn the lasso tool. That's one of our next lessons. But we're going to learn our text tools. If I wanted to, I can't do it because I'm not in editing mode. I'd have to be in editing mode, and I could click link. That was weird. I want to link to a page. Then I would say I would link to this page because that's the page that shows me using my tool. So now when I'm not in editing mode, I could press that button and it'll bring me right to this page of where I'm practicing. I hope that made sense, y'all. But this video, I think this tool takes a long time, so it's going to be very long. I'm going to try and cut it down from how long it is now. But that is the texting tool in a nutshell. Thank you and have a great day, you guys. Remember, in order to be great, you have to be grateful. And I'm super duper grateful for you. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye. Love you, mean it. Bye.